Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Jan Moses here, back on the Madden Ultimate Team grind. Wanted to share with you my opinion on Zero Chill Part 1, Day 1. Kind of feels like a preseason of Zero Chill. It doesn't really feel like the program's really here, and maybe that's because we don't have presence yet. But despite presence not being here, I want to start by talking about the market because the market's gone up. And I like using 90 to 91 overalls as my baseline for the state of the market. I think I mentioned in the video that I last uploaded about what I was investing in during the market crash over the last couple of weeks, not just from Blitz, but from the make rights coming out the week after Blitz. And then this current week, we had AKAs. Some AKA pack hit the market on Monday, which led to 90 to 91s really tanking in value again, going back down to, from what I saw, 4 to 4.5 coins per training. Team of the week came out on Tuesday, which made that filter really, really fun to work. And in both of those situations, I was just working the 90 to 91 filter. So when I'm buying, 90s, which, they quick sell for 10K training. So when I say that I'm getting them for 4 to 4.5 coins per training or less, that's basically 40 to 45K or less. Well, you can see here that we have 90 overalls that are at 64K when you don't filter through it. And the reason why it's important to show that is because there are people that play this game that will just click on 90 to 91 like I just did and buy the first card that they see. And if you don't believe me, because prices haven't really fluctuated all that much, you could see here that I sold, if he's still here, did he disappear? He's right here. I sold a 90 overall Reggie White for almost 70K today. Now, I know I mentioned that I wanted to kind of hold off on selling until I saw training go up maybe upwards of 8 coins per training. But when I saw the TVP come back, because that was a big shock, I didn't think we were going to see the training variety pack come back into MUT until, I don't know, early January. Although I guess the counter argument to that would have been when presents open, the market's going to tank to 2 coins per training, and then there's going to be nothing to counter that, which would lead to a lot of angry people in the MUT community. I would be ecstatic because I haven't really invested a ton in my lineup. I will be showing a player that I did spend 400 and I want to say 10K on today, maybe, question mark. But you can see right here, the training variety pack is here and it's going to be live for 4 weeks, which is huge because that means that this is going to last through presents opening, which means on Christmas Day, when presents are being ripped, you're going to have a very short window, kind of like with Blitz, with the Blitz limited time offers. You're going to have maybe a little bit longer than the 10 to 15 minutes you had with Blitz, but maybe you'll have like a 45-minute to an hour window to get players for, I don't know, 3 coins for training, which is what I'm waiting for. But then we're going to see, because of the training variety pack, that floor return of what we're at right now, which is a really healthy floor. 6.5 coins per training is beautiful. Like when I was on the train home from work last night and I fired up that stream, the GMM stream, and the first thing that they led with was the TVP coming back, I was definitely fist pumping like a weirdo on the train because I was pumped because I invested so much coinage into these 90 to 91s, and I'm okay with selling them now because I think I'm okay with selling them at 7 here and there, but I still think the move, if you invested in training, the move is going to be wait until presents come out, because presents are going to come out next week. And the reason why I think we saw the floor for training, the average coin per training value of players rise from 4 to 4.5 to 5 last night to 6.5, 7 even today, is because, yes, the training variety pack is out, but I just think people got antsy with all this training and they just had the urge to spend. And I know some people, because I'm in a couple of Discords with people that play MUT who like to, invest. And, we'll all talk about investing ideas. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it. It's pretty fun. like game within the game aspect of MUT this year. But a lot of them were like, yeah, I'm not going to spend that much training when the variety pack comes out. Maybe I'll only spend 25%. A lot of those guys blew their whole load on the training variety packs because it's the hot, exciting, new, flashy, shiny thing in the market. And I think that's a really premature thing to do. I think, the MUT economist this year, I think, kind of nailed it from EA's standpoint with putting the training variety pack in now, but holding off on putting presents in until next week. Because what's going to happen now is, because what the TVP is doing is it's drying up the training market. And then next week, when those same people who spent all those training points that they had on the TVP today or later on this week, when they want to go and buy presents, they're going to need to get more training. And we're not going to have Blitz or, AKA or Team of the Week. At least I don't think. We're not going to see the offers that we had come out and tank the value because we have the TVP here as like this ironclad floor that's going to keep training, I think, at a floor that's going to really benefit those of us that invested. I don't think, I'm very confident that from now until January, we're not going to see the floor of training consistently be low enough to the point where I'm going to regret investing in all these 91s and 90 overalls. I think I can sell all of these pretty easily at some point for a minimum of 7 coins per training, which I believe is a 20 to 25% profit per card. I think I could be sitting at 6 million coins, and I am ecstatic about that because I'm at a 92 overall right now. So I feel really, really, really good about that. So my plan is going to be to sell all these 90 to 91s next week then, and I'm going to quick sell all my 86, 87s, my 88s maybe as well, and then roll all of that into presents. I'll probably still have upwards of 150, maybe 175K training, which I think is still pretty damn good for me because I'm a cheapskate. I do not like rolling. I like being conservative with my money in MUT and putting it towards players when the market drops. I just think that's the more financially responsible decision to do if you're patient. And I know not everyone in this game is patient, and I don't blame them. We only have a few months where this game is as hot as it is right now. And so if you want to go and buy players and build a team and go and play online now, then by all means, more power to you. But I feel like for me, the opportunity cost is set such that if I wait until Christmas Day to buy my team, to buy players that I'll be talking about shortly, I'll have a lot of coins left over for the playoffs promo in January, the Super Bowl promo in late January, early February, and then Ultimate Legends that follows the weekend after the Super Bowl. So, yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff on the horizon, but I think there's going to be a lot of players that we add in the next 2 months that are going to be on our team for the subsequent months to follow. So, yeah, my game plan, just to share that before I move on to the promo and my lineup, I want to hold my investments until next week when presents come out because I think we could see the floor rise from where it's at now up to maybe 7.5 coins. 7.5 coins per training, maybe even 8. That would be amazing. And then I could sell everything for a ridiculous profit and I'll be rich. And those of you that invested will also be rich. And if you want to, instead of selling it, you want to, quick sell those players and turn them into training and then roll that training into presents, I mean, go crazy. I will say, though, speaking about presents, the one thing I don't like this year is a lot of the presents, they just flat out tell you what they are, which I hate. Like, don't call this a Blitz present. Like, give us the same color scheme as the Blitz program, but don't put the B on it or make the B smaller and hide it somewhere in the red in the background and call this like red medium present. Don't call it Blitz and AKA and Team of the Week. It's pissing me off, man. Legends present, fuck off. I'm gonna get demonetized. I don't care. I hate that so much. Here, like, okay, large present, right? Large is cool. But, like, do I just assume this is just a zero chill player? Is that it? Well, you know what would be really nice is if this is a zero chill player that we have not seen yet. Then I'll be happy. But if this is like a 90 overall zero chill player, I'm going to be pissed. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So, anyways, that's my take on the presents. I still think you should roll them. And I know a lot of people are up in the air or have their arms up in the air about presents being BND, the fact that you can't quick sell them for training. And while that may be patched or updated next week, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Because I guess in years past, people would, roll their training, get a present that they didn't want. They'd quick sell the present, roll again. They would just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. I kind of like this because A, it's going to make Christmas more exciting because you can't quick sell your presents, which means once you get your present, you're locked into it. You're going to open it, and then a lot of people are going to open it the minute they can on Christmas Day, and they're going to put that player onto the auction house to try and get coins, which is not what I'm going to do. I'm going to be holding on to all my presents for probably 12 hours at least, because why am I going to be in a rush to sell my players? If anything, I can't wait for these items to get out of my item binder so that I have more room to buy players and add those players to my team. So I kind of like the fact that you're going to get the present and you're not going to be able to quick sell it, which means you have to open it, which means, on the 25th, we're going to hopefully see a massive market crash, even if it's just for a short period of time due to the training variety pack still being available. In terms of investments, I still want to buy 90 to 91s if I can. I'm going to be raising my target price point from 4 to 4.5 coins per training to 5, maybe 5.2, because I still think, again, if I was able to sell my 90 overall Reggie White for 70K, that means after tax, that's 63K. That would mean if I buy a 90 for 52, that's 11K profit. I will gladly take that. And that's in today's market. Again, next week, presents come out. Presents come out. I think we're going to see training go up. And I think that's a beautiful thing for us. So, yeah. I also want to continue to sell 79 and 80 overalls because I made a lot of coins selling those players. If you take a look here, you'll see hopefully that I was able to sell. I sold probably almost 100 of these 7-day 79s today. My item binder was at like 1250, and you just saw I'm at 1,000 flat. So I sold 250 or so players, and the ones I didn't sell, I put into sets to turn into high golds to then sell, or I turned them into zero chill players who I then sold because zero chill 85s are going for a lot too, which I don't know if I have any here. Like Christian McCaffrey, you could easily get Christian McCaffrey for like 8-9K earlier, and he was being purchased at 13K plus by people that would just, again, they weren't filtering down. They were just going on 85 overall zero chill and buying the first player that they would see, not filtering down further to see what they were actually going for. Also, you can see here Dexter Lawrence, which is going to lead me to my next point. We got 4 Giants today. Josh Azudu, no one cares about 85 overall. He's been a okay player for the Giants. But we got Dexter Lawrence as a limited. I bought him 3 times today. Sold him once for $5.95. Sold him again for $4.70. And then I bought him 3 times today. I'm sorry, I sold him 3 times. I bought him 4 times today. So, yeah, I had a really good day buying Dexter Lawrence. I think if I were to add up all my profit in selling him, because this first one I got for like $4.40, $4.50, and I flipped him, as you can see, for $5.95. So I made, I think I made like 122 on the first one. I forgot how much I bought him for. I think these, so I got like 10 or 20K profit on each. So that's probably upwards of 150, 160K in profit just from Sexy Dexy. And I love Sexy Dexy, man. One of the best players on our defense IRL this year. Love that man with a passion. We got him. We have a 92 overall Xavier McKinney. And he's a very interesting player because, I have 2 safeties that I got from the Blitz program that I'm thinking of selling. And those are Minkah Fitzpatrick and Kyle Hamilton. And I think the smart move is going to be to sell both of them next week again when presents come out. If you compare Xavier McKinney and that 131 is a great price, by the way. kind of want to buy that. But if you compare the two, again, you can't compare these players just based off the numbers. You need to look at their abilities. I do not know what Xavier McKinney gets. First of all, Xavier McKinney, card art, beautiful. I love it. stocking stuffer card art is great this year. But he gets 90 man and 94 zone, which is great. Minka, one of the biggest knocks on him is the 85 man. You can't chem that up to a 90, unfortunately. I don't run man with my safeties, but it's nice to have the flexibility where you could, or if I have Xavier McKinney in as a sub linebacker and I, mix in a man coverage blitz or just like a cover one hole, having my sub linebacker be able to play man coverage is nice. So yeah, I don't really see that big of a drop off from, Fitzpatrick to McKinney. And I think given that Fitzpatrick is one overall higher, I think we're going to see him maybe sell for over 200K in a week. So that'd be kind of nice. So I will be adding McKinney and I will be adding Sean Taylor at some point, hopefully as well. And then the last Giants player is 90 overall, Dory Jackson, who we get from playing the CPU House Rules. It's like a community event, which I think is pretty cool. You have to beat the raid boss, which I believe is quarterback Derrick Henry, which is, I guess, a callback to last year. I know that was one of the most, if not the most OP cards of Madden 22. I guess he was like the equivalent of what Eric Dickerson was in Madden 20, which is my last Madden before this one. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm really happy that we have 3, 90 plus overall Giants, including Sexy Dexy, who, as you can see, made my lineup, and I'm glad that he's here because whenever I have the opportunity to add a Giants player that's high overall to my team, it makes me a very, very happy boy. So anyways, let's move on to the lineup for the last part of this video. I want to talk about the upgrades that I'm looking to make. And again, a lot of these upgrades are more than likely going to be coming on Christmas Day. I think the theme for Zero Chill is going to be waiting. I think the MUT economist, that whether it's a person or a group of people, they know that a lot of people invested in training over the last couple of weeks. I mentioned it in my prior video. The community, I think, is as smart as ever, and that's partly due to the fact that we have guys like Ijo Bruin, Buffalo K, Up and Adam, streamers, content creators that focus less on gameplay and more on working the market. And I think that's great because, there is a learning curve. And yeah, you can go in and you can look at all the sets and figure out what's best. And there is still that knowledge gap of you can go in and you can find profitable sets and those guys may not touch on it because, obviously it's in their best interest to not share everything that they're doing to work the market. And if they are going to share it, wait until after they've made, a ridiculous profit on it before sharing it with the greater public. But even with those guys and other people that are market content creators in MUT being out there, they're still, if you combine all their audiences together, that's still what? 2%? 3% of the entire Madden Ultimate Team community. So there is still, a lot of people that aren't privy to, investing and when to invest and, stuff like that. And I still think that regardless of that, my whole point in this is I think the TVP came out today to have people sink their training into that role. And then we'll see the market go up hopefully next week with Presence coming out. So if you're patient and you don't sell your players, assuming you're wanting to get the profit and not roll for Presence, you're much better suited waiting for next week because the TVP will still be here next week. So that floor is locked in, I think, at 6.5, maybe 6 coins per training. And maybe we see that floor dip a little bit when people see that the training variety pack isn't great, even though it's fun to rip, I guess. But next week when Presents come out, I expect that floor to jump up. So with that being said, lineup. Aaron Rodgers, love him. No plans on selling him. He's a fantastic card. I need to add a new running back. Saquon Barkley is going to be replacing Rod Woodson as soon as I can get him on Christmas because I don't plan on getting him now. I mean, maybe I'll get him earlier. We'll see. Maybe, when I have those 2 weeks off from work and I'm itching to play online and I want to play with one of my favorite players on the Giants, I may end up buying him a week early. And I don't really care because you work the auction house to make coins and you make those coins to spend those coins. So, yeah, I may just add Saquon Barkley early. We'll see. An all-Madden player that I may not get in a week and wait until Christmas to get, but I do want to add to my team is Jason Kelce, a 94 overall center with 80 speed. That's a card that you could add this month to your team and not replace him until golden tickets come out in the summer. I think that's pretty damn hot, if you ask me. But outside of those two positions, I really want us to get a new right tackle in the game because currently, I did check, we only have one right tackle that gets, I think it's edge protector for 1 AP, and that's Wirfs. I don't want 90 overall. I don't want a 90 overall right tackle if I'm going to upgrade from my current chemmed up 90 overall right tackle. That's Tom Compton. Like, I'd rather wait. I'm assuming we're going to get a right tackle that is going to get that ability for 1 AP in the near future. That's my hope. We still have another, 24 stocking stuffers to come. We still have another couple of parts, I believe, of Zero Chill to come. So there still is a lot on the docket. And I also want to add a wide receiver, whether it's the new Megatron that we got that's 94 overall, the DK Metcalf that just came out this week, or maybe we get someone, like maybe Odell Beckham signs in the coming weeks, and then we get a Odell Beckham Zero Chill card. That card will be on my team in a heartbeat. Believe me, he will be on this team. But I want to add a tall receiver too, like a Calvin Johnson. Maybe we get a new Plaxico Burress soon too. I'd love to get a new Plaxico because one of my favorite Giants of all time. Moving on to the defense. I mentioned I want to sell Minkah and Kyle Hamilton. I think that's the smart move because I'm assuming, they're both limited now, right? If I take a look, does it say? It just says B&D because they have abilities on them, I guess. But I want to sell them because I feel like they're going to be relatively expensive next week, and they're going to probably get reduxes in the coming weeks to a month or so. And I'd rather have my free safety, like I mentioned before, Xavier McKinney and Sean Taylor. And then at my strong safety, I'll have Deshaun Elliott, and then maybe we get an Ed Reed for Zero Chill. I could see him coming at some point potentially. Who knows? I'm less worried about getting another strong safety because in the patch we got today, they allowed us to put free safeties in at sub linebacker, which is great. I did not confirm that, but I will check that right now. I go to sub linebacker, I should be able to put Minkah here, and I can. How awesome is that? Thank you, EA. Thank you. It makes me very happy. Moving on to the rest of the defense, though, I need a new middle linebacker because Bobby Wagner and Kiko Alonso are just not it. They really aren't. I barely use linebackers, but when I do, I like to have one that's good, preferably. And I need another left end. I think my defense is pretty damn good. I mean, if I'm running a 3-4, it's an issue, but in a big nickel, I'll basically have my D-line's Lawrence Taylor, Aaron Donald. Now I have Dexter Lawrence along with Richard Seymour. And I mean, that D-line I think is as good as it gets. I mean, it's not going to be, top of the top, but I think it's well above average, and that's really all I want. My corners are great right now. Deion Sanders, Big Play Slay, and Benjamin St-Juste. 3 NAT/BND cornerbacks that are all 93 or 94 overall, I think is fantastic because that means that I was able to grind for these players. I didn't have to spend any coins, and they're all elite at their position, which is fantastic. So, there you have it. I'm hoping to bring more of this Madden market content to you. Maybe I'll bring another video later on this weekend, if not next week. But again, if you've invested, just save your training. Then either roll your training next week for presents, or just sell the cards themselves and make a fat chunk of change next week, and then ball out when the presents open on Christmas Day. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. If you see this video and you want to share a comment on where you're at training-wise, let me know. I'm very curious. I want to know what people's strategies are because, again, look, this MUT community that I have is super small, right? We're a much smaller YouTube channel. I've only had a couple people comment on prior YouTube videos that were Madden Ultimate Team related, but I've had good conversations with those people. So if you see this video and you want to talk about what your strategy is going in, I don't think that's going to exactly lead to, everyone following your strategy and screwing you over in making the most profit possible when you choose to either open presents or invest in training. So Let me know in the comments down below what your game plan is. I'm very tired, so I'm going to end this video now. Until next time, I'll see you later.